Welcome back. This is CerealSnax. Today I'm looking at a game called Mirror's Edge, and it's been out for a while, so I wouldn't really call this my first impressions. I've played quite a bit of it, but I just wanted to kind of show you the game. The graphics are really pretty stunning. It's a very nicely done game. You can see the colors are very vibrant, these bright reds, and there's of course the oranges and the greens. Everything's kind of a neon, like sporty kind of look to it. The other thing I like about it is that obviously it's a first-person game. You know, there's some first-person shooter elements to it, but I wouldn't say that that's really the main focus. The main focus is doing parkour. So I have some Assassin's Creed parkour episodes that I did with Minecraft, and it kind of got me interested. I had this Mirror's Edge game from the Steam sale. I think I picked it up for $5, and it's very much worth that $5. You can just see the graphics are very crisp, very clean, and the whole gist of the game is that you're a runner, and you're always running. So the whole thing of it is to run away from people, to run through obstacles using your parkour skills. So you can see the neat thing about it too is from a first-person perspective, you can see your hands and your feet. You don't always see that in a first-person game. You a lot of times don't even see your feet. You can look all the way down and you don't see that. It does really make you feel more immersive, like you actually are running through this stuff. Little objects that you can interact with are highlighted in red, which is nice. And right now you can see I'm running from these guys who are shooting at me, these cops. You know, apparently I'm on the run, so I'm gonna hide behind this little outcropping here, but keep running. The game is really based on the whole idea of parkour, and if you're not familiar with what parkour is, or if you just heard the term and are not too familiar, parkour was basically a style, I guess, developed by a French man, and he developed it based off things that his father did in the French military. And it really caught on, especially in movies lately. If you saw Casino Royale, they've got some parkour scenes that are pretty intense, and that really had a resurgence of parkour in 2006. Although parkour was invented, I guess, early 1900s, but you know it's always been kind of used, and I don't think people really had names for it. You know, the martial artists, a lot of martial artists in Japan and China have used parkour. They just never really called it parkour. They never really called it anything. It doesn't have any set of moves, however, like karate or those other kind of sports. It's more just improving your running and your physical jumping and athleticism, and really using the environment as a way to travel. And so it's an art form. It's less of a, you know, here's the certain moves you can do, here's the style of moves you can do. That's not about that. It's really about, you know, traversing your environment. Whoop! I lost my grip there. Traversing the environment without having any limitations. So, and really pushing your body to the extreme. Now, of course, this is a video game, so you're not pushing your body at all, right? You're sitting in your chair just playing this parkour game. And there are some criticisms of this game. I like that you can do these little like rolls when you fall, and I like that you can, you know, jump and land on these platforms and that sort of thing. The one thing I will say that's criticism of this parkour type game is it's not as freeform as it probably could be. For example, there's one linear path you have to follow in this game, and if you don't follow that path, you will die over and over and over again. So once you know the path, it's pretty straightforward. It's much like, you know, like a Super Mario Galaxy, where, and I would say that Super Mario Galaxy, for example, even has more paths than you can take, but it's a relatively linear game, and so is this. So you're kind of forced to go down one route, and that does kind of go contrary to the idea of parkour, which is the ability to kind of you never travel the same path. You always find a different path. So if you're going to one place and then you're going to go back to a different place, you always find a different path or a different way to do it, just to try to push yourself even further. And this game doesn't really follow that, but that doesn't mean it isn't fun. I really enjoy, you know, being able to jump and run through these levels. It really makes you feel good to be able to do that. So as far as gameplay goes, I talked a little bit about the first-person shooter aspect of it, and there are parts of the game where you encounter enemies, and you know there was a lot of criticisms online. Ooh, I did a cool wall run thing there. You saw that? Doing my little jump in here. There's a part where there's parts where you encounter soldiers and you have to fight them, but the game really discourages you from fighting. And I wouldn't say that the first-person shooter aspects of the game are very good, but that's not the point. And I think a lot of reviewers out there who have mentioned that have missed the point of the game. You know, when you encounter the soldiers, you can pick up their guns and shoot them back. But that's not the point. The point is to disarm them, and then there's actually an ability to throw. I'm having trouble getting up on this ladder. You have the ability to pick up to knock the gun out of their hands and then just toss it on the ground. That's actually an ability in the game, and I think the game designers, the purpose of that was to actually get you to do that. They don't want you to necessarily pick up the gun from the soldier that you knocked it out of the hand of and shoot that soldier. You can do that, but that's not really what the game's message is. The game's message is more about disarming your opponents and then just running from them, getting away from them as quickly as you possibly can. That's the point of parkour, not to, you know, run at your opponents, take their gun and shoot them. That's kind of against, I think, the philosophy of parkour, and I think the game designers embraced that. But they also got some criticisms from players because players want to pick up those guns and just, you know, create all-out devastation. So it's hard to appeal to a first-person shooter crowd, I think, with a game like this, because that's not really what the point of the game is. The point is to run through these jumping puzzles and complete the game, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. Obviously, there's some frustrating parts to it, and if you're not one who is calm when you're doing jumping puzzles, this might not be the game for you. So, you know, keep that in mind. You've got these balancing puzzles here. You kind of have to alter your keyboard keys to balance. And I just think the aesthetic of it is really good. It almost reminds me of the Matrix in many ways. When they're actually in the Matrix, the colors and the that sort of stuff. Although that wasn't as bright, but the overworld, I guess the computer virtual world, had a lot of different stylizations that this game kind of emulates a little bit. So right now I'm in this underground like sewer system trying to escape from the enemies and just trying to get out of it as quickly as possible. And the whole storyline is not like, you know, obviously like an A+ storyline, but it's also pretty well done as well because you're part of this group of runners and there's a conspiracy going down in this city. A politician was killed and they're blaming the runners for it, and you are the prime suspect more or less. And so that's kind of what it throws you into in terms of the storyline, is you are on the run trying to figure out who killed this politician and why, get to the bottom of it. Now here is a soldier I was talking about. He's got a sniper rifle, knock it out of his hands. He's trying to shoot me, but keep doing it. So there, he dropped his gun, and you can pick it up and use it, but you know, I think the point of it is more, and I can't really jump well without it. So see, the point is you can't really do much when you're carrying a gun, so I just drop it. Ooh, and I got slammed. Now, I could turn around and shoot the snipers, but like I said, the game is not designed around that. The game is designed for you to run. So run. You know, that's kind of how I view it. And there's not a lot of variety, but like I said, I paid $5 for this game. Steam has this game for $5. I would keep an eye open, put it on your wish list on Steam. Look for a sale where it's $5, because it will be $5 again, guaranteed. And I promise you'll get your money's worth. I mean, $5 for a game with graphics like this and gameplay like this, totally worth your purchase. I think that it is a very underrated game. A lot of reviews out there, you'll read them and it'll say, oh, you know, a lot of criticisms with the game. The length of it is it's not incredibly long. It's a relatively short game, but I don't think that is necessarily something that detracts from the experience. There's a lot of short games out there that are excellent. For example, and I'm not going to compare this game to Full Throttle because it's completely different, but I think in terms of length, Full Throttle, if you play that game, it's probably a few hours of gameplay. This game is probably a few hours of gameplay, and Full Throttle is an epic classic of all time, and people don't ever complain about the length. So just keep that in mind. I don't want that to detract from your experience. And plus, one of the fun things about this game that I find is that once you've completed a level, I've completed this level before, so once you've completed it, you know where to jump, and because of that, in a way, you feel kind of godlike almost when you play it again, because you already know where to go, so you just quickly can do it, and it's almost like you're in your own little movie. And I just enjoy that, and it may not be for everybody. You may be listening to me going, well, why? That doesn't sound interesting at all, and that's fine. That may, this may not be the game for you. So, anyway, it's a $5 game. I just wanted to give a quick review about it because I think it is worth getting. The sounds are good. The music is good. The voice acting, it is what it is. It's action game, so it's going to be similar to many action movies. So if you enjoy that, then you'll probably enjoy a game like this. Just well done. I'm looking forward to it. I know that there's been talk of a Mirror's Edge 2, another game coming out, and I will definitely be buying that because I think it will be probably even better than this. So keep your eyes open for that. Regardless, this is my quick Mirror's Edge review. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to pick it up. A lot of this footage is me running around underground here. I didn't get a chance to really show you the overworld too much, but that's pretty excellent as well. So I will catch you again soon. I hope you enjoyed my quick review of Mirror's Edge parkour game.